I love working with nonprofits because they're the most passionate, dedicated people that you get to work with.
Right.
They are people who are incredibly successful, and they're choosing to, a lot of times, get paid a lot less to make other people's lives better. I went from playing in the NFL, where it's the most passionate, dedicated players, to get to that upper echelon, and then now I get to work with nonprofits all the time. So one, it's really great that that consistency of passion was maintained from one career to the other.
Welcome to Tribe Talk, where we alternate between young changemakers and long-standing leaders in the social impact space. I'm here today with Carl Nassib, CEO of Rayze. Thank you so much for your time today and for joining us on our talk.
Hey, thanks for having me, Kyle. Appreciate it.
Truly a pleasure. And to be sure, Tribe podcasts are sponsored by Rayze, a mobile-first platform powering individual activism, nonprofit fundraising, and corporate giving. So download Rayze on the App Store or Google Play today to give, volunteer, or connect.
Streamer. Tribe Talk is a Streamer studio production. Stream your podcast, stream your story, stream yourself. Try it free at streamr.nyc. Make your voice, brand, and message seen and heard on every platform today.
Carl, I'm very curious about your story in particular, especially how you went to discover the important aspect of what you're doing, and now how you switched from your career, which is definitely exciting in the past, to something in the social impact space.
Totally. To give the listeners a little background on me, I played 7 years in the NFL. Before that, I played at Penn State, played over 100 games in the NFL, had a great time. And while I was volunteering with the team that I was on, the Buccaneers at the time, we volunteered at a juvenile delinquent center where kids as young as 12, 13 years old were, in jail cells. A lot of them were just avoiding a violent home environment. They were picked off the street. And after spending the day with them, it was really emotional, really heavy stuff. And then the craziest part about it was that facility was half a mile from where we went to work every single day. It was half a mile from a team of millionaire NFL players, a team of billionaire owners, and none of us knew that they were there. So I thought there needs to be an app on your phone where just as easily as you can see pizza near me, Taco Bell near me, that you can see volunteering opportunities near me. So I just wanted to build the Rayze of volunteering.
Right.
And then a couple years after that, I came out publicly as gay and made a large donation to the Trevor Project, and then continued making grants to organizations. And then I quickly realized how clunky giving is in 2025, where young people don't give with cash or checks anymore. We want to give with Apple Pay, Google Pay, 2 clicks or less.
Right.
And then I noticed this growing gap between the older generations that run nonprofits and the young people who are now inheriting a ton of wealth that want to give super seamlessly. So I combine those two things with Rayze of, hey, how do we get people to donate? How do we get people to get involved right from their phones? Because that's where the future of philanthropy is going. It's going to be from your phones.
Right.
Yeah.
And tell me about just your perception of the nonprofit sector, right?
Love it.
When you were switching to jump in to Rayze, what made you decide to do this? How does the model work for you? One of the goals that we have here at Tribe Talk is to demonstrate the opportunities and that diverse range of what a nonprofit could be, as well as just how people can get involved. So I think certainly that's why we're grateful for the partnership, because it's very pivotal to what Rayze is doing. You're a community builder.
Yeah.
But tell me more about the decisions to make this community in this legal structure.
So 3 things. One, I love working with nonprofits because they're the most passionate, dedicated people that you get to work with.
Right.
They are people who are incredibly successful, and they're choosing to, a lot of times, get paid a lot less to make other people's lives better. I went from playing in the NFL, where it's the most passionate, dedicated players, to get to that upper echelon, and then now I get to work with nonprofits all the time. So one, it's really great that that consistency of passion was maintained from one career to the other. Number 2 is people really don't understand how important the nonprofit industry is in America specifically. When you're in a capitalistic society where your self-worth is your net worth, and we don't do the best job at providing for our most vulnerable in this country. So that's where the philanthropy industry comes in. It fills the cracks of where the government can't meet the needs of its people. So it's really, really important. I mean, you know, colleges, universities, massive, you know, research organizations have done historic things, and that's philanthropy in America. So people really can't forget just how important it is to the fabric of our culture. You know, you can achieve the American dream here, but you also have to give back because the opportunities are big, but you also have to, you know, look out for your friends and people less fortunate. And the third part is, I really wish people understood the power of where federal, for-profit, and nonprofit, when those three different types of entities come together, that's the most efficient and most powerful ways of getting, you know, big things accomplished. You have kind of the oversight of the federal entities, you have the kind of let's get things done now, the businesses, and then you kind of have the heart of the nonprofits. And when you can bring those three different types of entities together, I think that America does that better than any other country in the world. And I wish more people understood that.
Right. And I do think there's a strong understanding that nonprofits are able to address externalities or things outside of the current market system.
Okay.
That's what they're meant for in a strong sense of the word. But also there's nonprofits like Rolex, Patagonia, Kaiser Permanente, the healthcare system that are working hand in hand in areas where they're larger than many Fortune 500 companies.
Okay.
So how do you balance the partnerships or those, for example, that can use Rayze, so that you're ensuring that they're getting involved in more like small-scale grassroots projects? Or do you encourage them to get involved regardless of the size?
Totally. One thing I learned, you can do anything in life, can't do everything. So we're not trying to be everything for every single nonprofit. For nonprofits that love to do raffles, that love to do sweepstakes, we don't really engage with that. Right? Where we feel like the biggest opportunity for getting more young donors engaged is optimizing the checkout process and getting people to volunteer. 75% of people that volunteer end up donating to that nonprofit. Oh, great! It's the running. They're doing a Christmas fundraiser. Oh, I volunteered with them earlier this year or the summer. I've seen their work, right? Like I have a touch point there. And if you know a lot, I've now been working in the nonprofit industry for years. There is a growing obsession with nonprofits and CRMs where they wanted to get the most out of their donors. They wanted to really use a sales force, use something to track how much people are giving, get them to give more, but there wasn't really a focus on how are they getting new donor acquisition. And that's where Rayze tries to come in. It doesn't matter if you're recruiting a $100,000 donor or a $100 donor. People don't start out as a $100,000 donor. You know what I mean? They start off their journey in the sub 100 donations, and we want to guide nonprofits and people on that journey. So we can really help nonprofits of all sizes to generate more revenue, build better relationships with donors, get more volunteers that actually will come back. I always say it's great to get a volunteer, it's better to keep them. So yeah, there's some, we do a lot, but we don't do everything.
Truly, it's very gratifying to know that there are people who are redefining the nonprofit space for future generations, making it easier and in line, because I think there is this perception that nonprofits are older, run by older people. And so to bring in a new perspective and ensure that it can stay current or up to date is really helpful.
I know that nonprofits are run by older people. I mean, I'm on the board. I'm on the board of massive nonprofits, and I am the youngest person in there by 20 years. The average if you look up the statistics on volunteerism, the average age of a volunteer in America is 75 years old.
The average age of a
volunteer in America is 75 years old.
Wow.
It dropped a little bit after COVID. People that were older they didn't want to engage with too many people in person anymore. So it even was higher, a few years ago. And then so much of the nonprofit industry is, it's run by people. Great, I had a great corporate career. Now I want to give back. Right. So they're in their 60s or 70s, and they're trying to connect with young people who have great tech jobs. You know what I mean? Despite what affordability is this year, it's, affordability is one of the biggest things for America. Gen Z actually has more wealth than at this stage of their life than almost every generation did before. Things are way more expensive, you know what I mean? But they do have higher paying jobs, and they have the ability to give, but there's no connection to the nonprofits they actually care about.
Right.
And that's an issue.
Yeah, or the opportunity for them to start what's needed.
100%. That's all Tribe does, gets you to start your nonprofits.
Yeah, but
which I love.
I think, no, this was, we are so lucky to have been introduced to you and met to someone that's working in the space that ties so in line with what we're trying to do.
Totally.
We're trying to redefine the entire nonprofit industry, not just the volunteers, not just the donors, not just the founders, but also the future board members. To say that it's not about creating a career and then giving back. It's not about creating your legacy and then defining it. But actually starting where if you only had another week, like how would you create impact today? How are you making making yourself grateful?
Totally.
In each moment, or taking intention with what you're doing.
Love it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Carl. I know we're going to do more.
We're going to do more. Yeah. Yeah, Kyle. Thank you. I love what you're doing with Tribe. It's much needed. There's so much opportunity for collaboration with young philanthropreneurs.
Yeah.
And people that are already doing good things. So I think what you guys are doing is super smart. And there's a ton of potential there, so I'm excited to see you guys keep it going.
Blessings.
Yeah, thank you.
Tribe Talk is a streamer studio production. You can view more at www.tribe.us. That's Tribe with 2 I's. Try Streamer today at www.streamr.nyc. We're very grateful to the team that made this happen. Executive producer, David Walters. Videography and editing by David Walters. Graphic design by Tristan Bresnan, and hosted by me, Kyle Mathis. Thank you so much for watching.